Sorry about that. We didn't have anything to change the slides, and we got so engrossed in listening to Helga that we forgot to get it. So, Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the European Working Group session, and thank you for attending this session and feeling it's important to listen to our voices and what we have to say. And I thank the people round the walls that are standing and sitting. We do appreciate that. For those that do not know me, my name is Agnes Houston. I have been living as well as I can with dementia of the Alzheimer's type for 10 years now. I am Scottish and live in Copenhagen, 30 miles from Glasgow. I am proud to be a founder member and one of the co-vice chairs of the European Working Group. And I'm so pleased for the European Working Group that we were awarded and received an Amica Award, a Mano Amica Award recently for our contribution to dementia. So thank you for that. Today I have been asked to talk about my personal feelings on research and how I went from thinking research was all about drugs or invasive tests, or scientists at conference showing charts and figures. That seems so removed from my daily scary life with dementia. How can I be involved in research? I have dementia now. It affects my ability to understand numbers. I have neurological vision impairment due to my dementia, and I'm on the partially sighted list. So my reading abilities have diminished. How could I take part in research? What input would I be able to give? Surely that's for clever people. You know the type. My brother calls them nerds. And I certainly was never in that category. Anyway, why would they listen to me, a person with dementia? Well, how wrong can one person be? So what's changed my views from going from that point of view to my views today? It was when I listened to other people with dementia, some of them in this room today, who took part in the UK dementia research programmes. And they explained that research can be more than drugs, and that there are many different types of research, and how you could have fun and enjoy taking part in research. And I thought, research and fun in the same page, same sentence? That doesn't compete with me. So it was a light bulb moment, and I started to pay more attention when research was mentioned. And this is how I discovered about the social side and the social area of research, psychosocial, which in my opinion uses our lived experiences, both people with dementia and family carers, to inform research projects and influences best practice. Now, if I was one of you sitting in the audience, I would be saying, yeah, but how much time is that going to take out of my life to participate in research? Well, it's a good question, but it can involve as little as one interview with the researcher or a number of meetings over time. And it can take many forms and use many mediums. For example, audio recordings, video blogs, diary entries, and at the end, the very important evaluation, which is so, so important. In the past, you would get little or no feedback on the outcomes from research. So you would give your time, do all of this and then wonder, did it make a difference? So this made people with dementia reluctant to participate and become involved in further research. So the Scottish Dementia Working Group, the first working group that ever happened in Scotland about 15 years ago. We were getting asked to become involved in research on a daily basis, and it was taking up a lot of our time. And we decided in the working group to set up a research subgroup, of which I was a founder member. And our first meeting was in August 2013. And after lots of discussions, we decided that we needed to set ground rules. So supported by Dr. Dot, Sarah, Nick and Liz from University of Edinburgh, we developed this book called The Core Principles. And the reason we developed the core principles was researchers are very clever people and they know what they're doing, but they had very little knowledge on how to communicate and what made a good feeling when you were participating in research. So this is a simple document, it's color-coded, and everybody can use it, and it's being used internationally so that it sets the scene and makes it safe for both, because some researchers are coming and they're frightened because they don't know how to handle speaking to people with dementia. So who would have thought someone who was a skeptic about research would now be as actively involved in research? In fact, if you'd have told me 2 to 3 years ago, I would be standing talking about such a boring subject, I would have put a bet on this was not true. So not only am I actively involved in research and participating, in fact, I will be a co-researcher in the near future. So we have now, people with dementia are being respected and valued and being treated with our human rights and equal partnership. So as an Edinburgh Exchange Fellow, I feel quite proud of that, and part of, and listen to this, the Edinburgh Centre for Research on the Experience of Dementia, ECRED for short, they still like the big words. In the ethos of this centre, in the heart of our capital in Edinburgh, is to put the person first. More information about this can be found on their website, which is up on the screen there. So the University of Edinburgh and ECRED, they consist of a team of dementia researchers based in Edinburgh University. We work closely together with people with dementia, dementia practitioners, and representatives from a range of dementia organisations. We are interested in exploring, developing theories and methods of impact around the experience of living with dementia. It's this social type of research that resonates with me. And then, last year, I was asked to join Professor John Creedy as advisory group. And I jumped at this chance because he's a very well-known person in the field. And this was a 5-year research programme funded by, now wait for this, the National Institute for Health and Research, NIHR, and Economic and Social Research Council, ESRC. What can I say? They always pick difficult names and then give it an acronym. The two things that people with dementia have difficulty doing, but it's baby steps and it's a work in progress. So this programme will explore and develop and test the role of our neighbourhood in the everyday lives of people living with dementia and their carers. And yes, that's most of us sitting here in the room, people with dementia. I find I'm quite pleased about that. And you hear about the word dementia-friendly communities. Well, you know, let's be human-friendly. Let's research and see what we can do. Listening is key, but let's have action at the end of it. And action doesn't always cost big bucks. That's what I find. So the research programmes are based in Manchester in the UK, Stirling in Scotland, and, wait for it,
Linköping in Sweden.
in Sweden. There you go. Thank you. I wasn't going to get told off for not saying it correctly. So there are a total of 6 work packages happening in this area. So now, what do I think now? Well, I think by taking part in research projects, I believe I have gained more knowledge about myself and the different types of dementia. I have increased my knowledge on how to live as well as I can with dementia, thus staying connected to my community longer. I have saw from the inside out how research projects develop, the frustrations researchers have of trying to obtain funding and also trying to get people with dementia involved. I find that quite strange that they can't find people with dementia, never mind getting them to become involved. If you listen to the numbers, you would think they were falling over them in the supermarkets. So they can't be looking very hard or in the right places. Another reason I take part in research projects is I know I am contributing to improving the lives of others diagnosed after me. And as Chris Roberts often says, and I know he's here, I didn't expect him to be here, knowledge is power. Chris too has a diagnosis of dementia, and I believe this to be true. You can't get too much knowledge. I think the strapline, care today, cure tomorrow, sums up how I feel about participating in research today. I want to thank you for listening to me, and also want to thank and draw attention that I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for my daughter, who gets me sorted and stays behind the scenes and hides in the corner and does the doofer. So thank you once again, and again thank you for coming and listening to us. Thank you.